Hello and welcome back to the Whisky Rant Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Rob.
And tonight we are talking about Springbank Alternatives. You and I talk about Springbank just as much, if not more, than probably anyone else on YouTube. We're huge fans, of course.
Yeah.
In recent years, Springbank has become incredibly popular, huge in the secondary market as well, which has led to hard availability for most markets across the planet.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. I recently did a video that, was meant to help people fast forward their Scotch journey. Help them get their palates ready for more complex things. And I pretty much completely left out Springbank because I don't want to start a person's journey off not finding whiskey.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically I left them out. And,
Right.
it's sad that we have to do that now, but...
Yeah, I mean, you walk into a liquor store now, you ask the shop owner, do you have any Springbank? They probably laugh in your face, or they're like, we had some 10-year-old is also lit. Is usually your answer at this point. So we've assembled what we believe are something that's like similar profile. Like, you're never going to replicate Springbank, because it is very unique, probably arguably one of the most unique distilleries in Scotland.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of whiskeys that have a slight resemblance, maybe.
Yep.
Like a peat profile that isn't the typical, maybe Isla style or, the Highland style, but something that kind of creates that Campbelltown style.
Yeah. So basically we're going to pick from what we think is most similar to, and then we'll just branch out and say you'll kind of get these aspects and
right. Let's just get Hazelburn and Longrow out of the way. Like, obviously those are the other products that Springbank makes.
Right.
Those would be the closest to Springbank.
Right.
Because Springbank makes them. This is their distillate, of course. So let's get that out of the way. Those ones are still hard to find as well, but those obviously are closest to. What's next? What's the one after that?
So, if it's actually not on this table right now, but there's a Benromic sherry peat contrast that I think lines up with the Longrow profile very, very well.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So the peat contrasts from Benromic.
Yeah, Benromic, like, we've been talking about it, like Ralphie's been talking about it, Roy's been talking about it. This distillery, this Benromic distillery, is making like a Campbelltown very similar kind of distillery right now, and it's been coined the Springbank of Speyside, the Campbelltown of Highland, and it's very true. So Benromic is the distillery to look for. It's the one that isn't the most obvious, but it is definitely the one, and we love some of their higher ABV stuff, the 46 stuff.
Yeah, this cask strength.
And the cask strength, the vintage cask strength, very, very good, because you do get that, kind of funky profile to their peat. It's really good.
Yeah, I would say next in line to match up with like a Longrow would be the brother company to Tobermory, which is Lejeag, or however it's pronounced.
Lejeag, yeah.
Lejeag.
Yeah.
The 10-year-old matches up really, really well with the whole Longrow Red series, I think. Right? So I think those two match up really well. And then on the contrary, or to contrast that, the Tobermory 12 lines up really, really, really well with the Hazelburn 10. So you have...
so like the non-peated version of Springbank, non-peated version, obviously Tobermory.
Right.
There you go. Let's not get too far out of Campbelltown, because there are still some Campbelltown distilleries that are available.
True.
Obviously Kilchoman's, their sister company, makes a similar style profile. Really nice. The Kilchoman 12, the 16, both exceptional whiskeys, and do really kind of recreate that Springbank profile too.
Yeah, the eight cask strength series is pretty much impossible to get now too, because it replicates Springbank too much. Like it's exactly what you want in a Springbank, a heavy wine cask with good amount of peat, cask strength usually.
But the Kilchoman 12 is the one that you'd probably find
on the shelves.
On the shelves, though.
Yeah, like I bought this at the LCBO.
Sure.
Right? So
and this has been a gem at the LCBO. The LCBO's had this for probably longer than it's been popular.
Yep.
And also a decent price point on it as well.
Yeah. And then staying in Campbelltown still, you have your Glen Scotia 18 here. Right? So the Glen Scotia 18, I actually did a head-to-head, this Glen Scotia 18 versus the Springbank 18, same year, bottled, and this one won.
Yep.
We really like this bottle.
Yeah, we do really like this Glen Scotia 18. Lots of Glen Scotia expressions that all would be good.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Victoriana won the online Scotch Whisky Awards for Scotch of the Year.
Right.
That's a really good one. That has huge amount of complexity, lots of different elements going on with that.
Yeah, and then you're going to get that higher ABV too, which is what you're looking for usually when you want a Springbank as well. Although I will say, can you recall a Springbank that was over 60%? I cannot.
I don't think so.
I cannot. I honestly don't think they actually bottle at cask strength. I think they're bottling pretty close. And I don't know what the rules are about like bottling at cask strength, but
because their 12-year-old does say cask strength on it.
It does, and it's like some of their other like more recent expressions. A lot of their Hazelburns, they don't actually say cask strength on them. Some of them, and they're in the 50s, so you can assume that they're adding a little bit of water.
I wonder if they're barreling at a lower ABV than,
That could be
than
it.
industry standard. We have one on the table here that some people don't think of. Old Pulteney. This is the 18. You've got some going in your glass right now.
Yeah, I'm sipping on this right now. I really like this Old Pulteney 18. I think if I had to say it reminds me of a distillery in particular, it would probably lean closer to a Highland Park.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, when you think Springbank, you think a little bit of funk, something a little bit different, unique, salty, all these different aspects. Old Pulteney has all that.
Yeah.
There's a unique characteristic to Old Pulteney, and I actually really, really enjoy this
Yeah,
whiskey.
it does have a unique characteristic to it, like Springbank does. Again, you're not going to find that like funky, dirty peat in this. This is more kind of like a heathered peat, as you said,
Heathered.
kind of like a more kind of like a Highland Park style.
Yeah.
But Highland Park does sometimes venture off from their like standard bottlings, and they do have little variances. We got the full volume on the table now. This one could maybe be something you would look for with like a low peat profile. I'm a big fan of the Highland Park 10, the Core Range 10.
Yep.
Because I found that has lots of peat influence in it, more so than the 12 or the 15 or the 18.
Yeah. I think this matches up really well with something that's bourbon cask influenced out of the Springbank family range. A dirtier version of a Highland Park would be like the dark, or
about the dark, yeah,
or even like the Dark Origins. Mm-hmm. That's really dirty. So like you want something funky and like super dirty. That Dark Origins will deliver for that.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but if you want something that's really gonna hit you with some like dirty peat and that sort of thing, you can go there.
And as far as Isla is concerned, what closely matches Springbank as far as Isla distilleries?
I think when the reason why I put Kilchoman on the table is because of its uniqueness. It's not your traditional Isla, I wouldn't say. Lefroy has a distinct peat.
Yeah.
Ardbeg has a distinct peat.
Lagavulin
as well.
Yeah.
Even Kalila to an extent, you know. This one, it kind of hits you from different angles depending on what kind of cask it was aged in. You're not necessarily going to get the same kind of peat in every single Kilchoman, and I kind of find that, like, how many times have we had a long grow like red that you're expecting all that peat because it's the peated version of Springbank, and you don't get that much, right? That kind of reminds me of Kilchoman in that sense, where sometimes you're going to get a lot of peat, sometimes you're not, and everything's a little bit different. You get great viscosity of all their expressions. I think Kilchoman works for a comparable.
Yeah, as far as Isla is concerned, even like if you're going to stay on Isla, something we don't have represented here, but perhaps like a Bruichladdich, they have they have the organic.
Yes.
Right, the Bruichladdich organic series, the organic barley, or the Isla barley. The Isla barley series. Yeah. That has some like kind of funky elements to it as well.
Yeah, actually drinking out of a Bruichladdich glass right now. Went to an event this last weekend that just passed, and I fell back in love with Bruichladdich a little bit because
Bruichladdich is solid stuff.
Yeah, and you forget because of the price variance and how much it's gone up over the years. You forget how like in touch they are with community and what they've done, what Bruichladdich has done for the island itself, like for Isla. Like they're the reason there's all kinds of farmers now on Isla again, and because of the Isla barley series.
Yeah, and they do great Isla barley there. Absolutely. You look at even the Octomore stuff is out of control. Amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So
the other one we haven't talked about right here.
Yes.
Craig Alecky.
Craig Alecky.
Yeah.
This is I think, a great example of what, like, this is a Highland, I believe, or are they Speyside? They're Speyside. The Craigellachie 13, 17, and the 23. The 23, first of all, is
23
remarkable.
Is an exceptional
yeah,
bottle.
it's really expensive.
Yeah.
But if you're going to reach that much, I would say it's probably one of the ones that are more worth it in that price range.
Yeah.
Right? 23 is absolutely showstopper. The 13 and 17 are excellent for value too.
Yeah.
Like, this is about $80.
Yeah,
So,
the 13.
right? 46%, naturally presented, all those fun things. And it gives you this viscosity that you do not get with almost any other whiskey its age.
Yeah.
Right? So that, like, this kind of, I think it's the worm tub distillation that they do, or I'm not sure exactly what they do with the worm tubs, but it gives it a funky, different kind of taste that I really like. And I think that's really comparable to a Springbank 10, for example.
There you go.
Yeah.
So lots of good choices, some decent alternatives, not necessarily that 100% Springbank profile because you're never going to get that, but some interesting different whiskeys that give you maybe a slight little amount of peat on the tail end that are all really good quality stuff.
Yeah, you don't have to go nuts looking for a Springbank all the time. There's other great options.
Absolutely.
Right.
Let us know in the comments down below, what is your alternative Springbank pour? Love to hear it in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Really much appreciate that.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheers.